I don't know about you guys, but creating video effects by hand is one of my favorite things. Well, at least in video editing. Watching the effect come together, frame by frame, scratch by scratch, cut by cut, it's pretty cool. There's really nothing like it, honestly. Like, how else could you get something like this in a video without putting your hands to it? If you noticed or watched a bunch of videos lately, you'll see this effect or technique being used plenty of times because it's so versatile. You can do so many things. It's actually ridiculous. As far as your mind can take you, you can do it. And while this was made in 2002, right before AI took over, these kind of effects still hold strong and give a sense of authenticity and grunginess that AI can't really replicate, or at least that I know of. Maybe some of you know a mod that can. Not me. All I needed was a sharp object like an exacto knife and a photo I printed out from a place like Walgreens, along with a tripod and camera, which I'm sure most videographers like yourself have in your arsenal. But if not, you can make it work still. So to start off, I just began chipping away from the bullet hole, where the bullet will come out, starting small and then slowly, very slowly working it till it fills up the bullet hole completely. And if you notice, I don't completely go through the paper at first to make it look like a bullet is coming out. And by about the fifth frame, I made a hole big enough to basically see through the whole thing. The first few frames are kind of important depending on what you're making, because with it being a stop motion, the first few frames allow you to gradually work into the animation. Makes it a lot more smooth. But like I said, you can do whatever you want and it'll end up looking pretty good either way. But here you can see me now starting to take those bigger leaps and cutting more off than I was before. So don't worry about being too perfect with it. The whole point of the effect is to add that grunginess in, somewhat of a dirty look. The same way people like film and the graininess, the hairs and scratches on the film, giving it a whole new vibe. At this point, I'm going to start adding the cracks to the paper, making it look like it's lasting off or blasting away. Take another picture. You see adding cracks. So the cracks being just little lines, one by one, breaking it up, peeling it. And you'll see I start the cracks off really small, about a centimeter to begin with. But, as simple as it may be, it can be time consuming, so take your breaks. Go back to it, adding more to the cracks, working our way to the edge. And here you can see me adding really minuscule details and little cuts that will show up on animation. Just as a crack on a glass would shatter and slowly add more cracks and branch off, you'll be able to replicate that same kind of feeling and look to your effect. So at this point, we're only about 9 frames in, believe it or not. Not that much, but you can still see just how much this little bit has done. We're nearing the end of the stop motion animation, and you can see how as time progressed, the cuts and pieces are getting more dramatic and more popular. At about 12 frames in, only half a second, you truly see just how much the work has paid off. And now on the 13th frame, we break those big pieces into their own separate beings. And I haven't said this yet, but as you can see, the constructed paper helps chroma key it out easily or rotoscope it much easier. And just like that, you have an effect you can overlay on any project you can think of, basically. But we won't stop there. I have one more cool effect I want to show too. I wanted a way to disintegrate the photo, but didn't really know any way to do it. So I thought of using nail polish remover, knowing that it's pretty strong. But the first one I used wasn't all that good. It says it was 100% acetone, but given that it was from the Dollar Tree, it makes sense why it kind of didn't work out. But I did have another nail polish remover that I figured I'd try, because why not? To my astonishment, it did exactly what I wanted. I'm not exactly sure what the difference between the two was, but I would definitely recommend this if you're trying to do that. It actually worked too good. I didn't know it was going to be so good, and I left it sitting there, and it disintegrated it pretty quickly. It made it look like paint. Like watercolor. And with that being said, I'm not sure what kind of toxins this may conjure up, so I'd recommend wearing a mask as well and doing it in a ventilated space. Oh yeah, maybe don't touch it with your hands either. But with me being amazed by how good it was working, I almost forgot to wipe it off quickly before it basically turned white. So I wiped it off, picked it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, took a picture, continued the process till I had a nice effect I put in my video. Now I could finally take a real break. Because when you're doing stuff like this, I don't know what it is, but you just get really stuck in the flow of things and you start making new things and thinking of new things, getting creative. You know, anybody who has edited a video and gotten into the flow just can't stop and they just want to keep going and making something else. Oh, what else can I do? Oh, maybe I could try this. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. Well, that didn't work. Maybe this will work. And I lied to you. Now I stayed up for hours, just hours and hours, just making things like this analog effect. It becomes really fun, almost like a challenge of how different can I be. You just want to try as much as you can with things that you have, and anything can be used, like literally anything. Well, I see a book in front of me. I could take the papers out and, I don't know, cross out each word one by one, and then mash it together, then wet it up, and then uncrumble it, and then dry it, and then cross the whole page out, black it out, and then white it out, and then put your title sequence on it. Or I see this candle I got right here, and I have a candle melter. I could take drips of candle wax and then put it on paper, and then take pictures of it while it's drying, so you get that nice opacity change from light to dark, or from dark to light. I'm not sure. I just know you can do something like that. Then take pictures frame by frame by frame and watch it turn into an effect. Literally, like, the possibilities are endless. Like I said in the beginning, as far as your mind can take it, you can do it. Imagination is key. But yeah, fair warning, it might make you loopy, but it's worth it. Take your breaks, make art, and be happy. I'm gonna go now. Thank you.